let's start with the most important story. I am overwhelmed with emotion today, and that is due in no small part to Facebook's rollout of 5 new emoji reactions. So now, instead of just liking something, you can like it or love it or laugh at it or say wow to it or be sad about it or be angry about it. If you think anger is appropriately expressed by a tiny yellow face with red cheeks, I do not, by the way.
Facebook does.
I wasted so much time with this because I was like, which emotion? How do I feel? I don't know.
Emotions are confusing.
They are.
Emotions are confusing.
And more of them did not help. What do you guys think?
I know. I'm curious to know what Lauren has to think, and then I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So everybody wants to know what the internet teen thinks. No, I mean, I think that it's something that Facebook has been exploring for a while. The idea that the thumbs up like button really didn't work necessarily for all kinds of news that people share on Facebook. It felt really weird, for example, to click a thumbs up when you are trying to, say, express condolences for someone who's recently experienced a loss or has undergone an accident. I had a friend of mine fracture her jaw, and it just was like, what do I do here? Like, do I push the thumbs up? I feel bad that she has hurt herself, but it doesn't necessarily translate. And I think that that's sort of the gap that Facebook's trying to bridge at this moment by saying, like, you know, there are a few common emotions that are expressed on Facebook, and we want to make sure that you can, you know, do those things and feel like, you know, it's not just represented by this one umbrella icon or feeling, which I agree with. But I don't know. To me, when I was using it, it still feels like there's like a level of friction involved. Like when do I push like and when do I push love? And what's the difference between being like angry at something or sad at something? How am I going to accidentally offend my friends and disappoint them like in a brand new and interesting way by pushing the wrong emotion? I think that people are going to take some time and have to try to figure out how to incorporate all these things into their like internet lexicon per se. And then probably after that, we're all just going to realize that it's normal and everyday and it's not going to bother us anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm happy that it's there though, because I've definitely been in those situations where I'm like conflicted. I want to acknowledge, you know, that's what words are for though, by the way.
Exactly.
You
Leaving
can just
comment.
type your words in there. That also helps. But yes, the friction aspect is definitely something, right? Like we've got, at least if you are a Facebook user, not everybody is a Facebook user, but if you used it enough, I know, we hear from them at TNT at TWiT. If you used it for long enough, you have a certain way of using Facebook. And so anything that deviates from that, and this is a pretty big deviation, this is a very major change to you know, a process that we've been doing for years now. It just adds this like speed bump where instead of this knee-jerk reaction of see post, enjoy post, tap like, now you actually have to kind of go inside your brain and figure out what your emotion is and how it translates to this thing. I also couldn't help but kind of be reminded of BuzzFeed for some reason with the big yellow ball things, you know, that represent different emotions or reactions or whatever. And I don't know if I've ever thought that I would compare Facebook to BuzzFeed, but there you go.
Well, my friend Mark Zuckerberg, he's my friend because, you know, I get his Facebook feed in my feed, so he must be my friend, right?
We should have him on the show sometime.
Not really my friend. But he says people want to express empathy, and my argument to my friend Mark Zuckerberg is that's not how you express empathy with these 5 emotions. Like, that's not, I get it. Like, if you see the example they used was like the dog with the cone on his head. I'm completely comfortable, like, you know, clicking on that sad emoji face for that. But when something really horrible happens to someone or someone's posting a news article that is very horrible, anything, I don't, you know, none of those emojis fit. You know, it has to be a conversation. And I think what we're left with is leaving a comment, although I wish there were more actual face-to-face conversations about this, but that's another story.
And so when you're on the website, okay, I see. I'd done this on mobile. So when you're on the website, you just tap and hold on like, and then eventually it kind of pops up. That's another part, actually, now that I think about it, because it really took a couple of seconds for it to really appear.
Yeah.
So we've gone from this thing where the news feed is this thing that you can scan through really quickly to something where you have to kind of stop and wait and smell the roses. Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe Facebook's telling us something. Stop and smell the roses. Hold on the like button for a couple of minutes.
I also don't long press on my computer, which feels super weird.
It does feel weird.
Pressing on my computer, I'm like, and then I'm like waiting for what seems like forever, and then it pops up, and I'm like, wow, this is awful. If we could change that whole aspect of it, that, and I think another thing that I have reservations about is like the feelings in aggregate. The idea that when you scan through a post and you see like, oh, you get the like summary of feelings, like you can say like people liked it and they loved it and they were surprised by it, but you don't get actual like number breakdowns. You don't actually know who did or said what. Like it's a little bit confusing, other than understanding that like it occurs in aggregate, and like at least one person of the 10 people who reacted to your post was sad about it for some reason. You can't tell.
Right.
That is interesting.
And the side of screen ticker, by the way, that highlights people, liking so-and-so's post. Right now, all you get are likes. I wonder if at some point that's going to be filled with a ton of other motions.
Yeah, well,
it could get really noisy very quickly.
It could, and combined with the new GIF button in Twitter, which I also just got this morning.
Right.
I mean, my entire morning was wasted because I was just like, and I have to say, and let me know if you agree with me on this, Lauren, GIFs are just much more expressive. I mean, that's the way you show empathy, animated GIFs.
Yes,
GIFs.
I don't have a folder full of them on my desktop for nothing.
Exactly.
See, and I don't have a folder of them on my desktop at all. That's why I'm happy Twitter keeps them for me in that little GIF button.